We're going to do some pulled pork. We've got a couple of Boston butts. This one I've already put my rub on. I'm not going to tell you what's in it. And this one we're about to. What I've done, soaked it in a brine overnight, and you just take the paper towel, wipe off the excess water. You want the meat kind of sticky, so I'll hold the seasoning, and you just sprinkle the rub on. Be kind of generous with it. And what you don't want to do is rub. You actually kind of pat, kind of push it into the meat just a little bit so it sticks. So that's all we do there. We're going to do both sides, and then we're going to take it out to the smokers. Charcoal is going in the smoker. We're going to be using hickory wood, and as soon as this is done, we're going to put it in. Okay, I got the smoker up to about 200. It's actually about 225. I just opened it up to put the meat in it. Temperature, of course, dropped. I'm going to open it up here in a second. But what I'm going to do, yes, my grill is pretty rusty. I'm going to show you what I have. Just basic charcoal, some wet wood chips, some little metal tin. Now, it's best if you can use chunk hickory wood. Where we went didn't have chunk hickory wood, and we were kind of in a hurry, so we just went with the wood chips. So you can see the temperature's kind of slowly creeping back up to about 225. And this is the meat. Just put it on about 30 seconds ago. A lot of people will put the fat side down. As you see here, I have the fat side up. The reason for this is the flavors in the fat. And when it renders, I want all those juices to drip down through the meat. So if it's fat side down, all that flavor would just drip out into the drip pan. This way, it kind of helps the meat taste a little better. So, and as you can see, it's not quite smoking yet, but once that wood hits that point of being dry enough and starts putting out smoke, it's going to smell really good out here. Okay, as you can see, you've got a good smoke coming up. Nice white smoke, that's what you want. If it's black or dark looking, that means you've got some grease burning, and that's definitely not what you want. But got a good smoke going, so it's going to make a good smoke flavor. So right now, we're about 3 hours into the smoke, and we got a nice color going. What I'm going to do is just kind of very lightly spray the meat, a little apple juice water mixture. Kind of keeps the meat from drying out. Don't want to do too much, just a little bit. You want to get that door closed. Just remember, if you're looking, you're not cooking. And we will check it in a few more hours. Okay, and as you can see, we are still smoking. Everything's looking good. Let's check my temperature. Temperature's running a little bit hot. It'll come down though. I can close the vents to bring that down. I just put some charcoal on, so that's why it's kind of bumped up a little bit. But that's fine, as long as it doesn't get to about the 300 mark. Actually, the 275 mark's a little too high for me, but right now we're about 250, so that should be fine. Anywhere between 200 and 250, you're good. So smoke, we're doing fine. Got some good smoke coming out of there. And normally I don't like to open my grill, but I'll do it for you right now. We're going to look at the meat. And it's looking nice and dark. Everything's looking good. And we want that burnt look on the outside. That's okay. If it starts getting black, that's fine. Because the meat inside is getting tender and it's falling off the bones. The outside creates the bark. So if it starts looking really black, kind of like a big meteorite, that's perfectly fine. So we're at about 5.5 hours, close to the halfway point. We're going to do a 12-hour smoke. And we're going to check back in a couple hours, give another couple of sprays, and it shouldn't be long before we're pulling it. Okay, we've got roughly 3 more hours to smoke. Our guests are on their way. or should be getting ready. So we got the tiki torches out. And let's check our temperature. Temperature about perfect, just a little bit hot. So we just added some charcoal. And we got a good smoke coming out. And we'll just check. That's fine. If it catches fire like that, that's fine. Now what I'm doing is I'm soaking my wood over here. And I just let it soak, and then when I need some, I'll grab a handful and put it in one of those metal trays, and I try to rotate it. So that way I always have the tray full of hickory wood all the time, and always keep this steady smoke going. So I'm gonna take a quick peek since we are a little bit hot. It won't hurt too bad. Those are looking good. So a few more hours and we will pull them off the smoker and start pulling. Okay, as you can see, it's still going about 225. It's kind of bounced up and down a little bit as the day went on, but managed to keep the temperature controlled pretty well. We started this about 6 a.m. It is now almost 5. So we got probably one more hour to go. Then what we're going to do, we're going to let it rest for about 30-45 minutes before we start pulling. The reason we do that is we want the juices inside the meat. Right now, with everything being heated up, all those juices are loose. As soon as you cut into it, if it's haven't rested yet, then all those juices are just going to go everywhere. So what you want to do, just cover it with foil and let it rest for about 30 minutes. And all those juices will kind of settle and go back into the meat. And we're going to take a real quick peek and see what we look like here. Oh yeah, that looks good. And if you can smell it, it smells awesome. One check. Got some wood chips are drying out. They're starting to smoke and smolder a little bit. So we're about ready to go. Next time you see this, we'll be ready to pull. This is the finished product. It's been on for about 12 hours. It's got some juices running out, but that's okay. That's normal for it to leak a little bit. You can see it's got a good bark to it. It's pretty firm, I think. It feels done. It's really, really hot, so we're going to start pulling it. Basically, when you pull it, you just jump in and break it apart. And look at that. Heat. Is it smoke ring?
Smoke ring looks good.
Yep.
That's hot.
Want to get some corks?
Yeah, baby. That's hot.
And here you have it. That's some of the finished product. A lot of it went. We had about 20 people over, and they pretty much cleaned it up. A lot of them says it's the best barbecue they ever had. Basically, when you pinch it up, you want to pull it out in little small strips like that. You can see the pink. It's from the smoke. Got a little bit of bark. Camera will focus. And that's kind of what it looks like. And what you can do, you're definitely going to have some left over. Just freeze it. It freezes really well. You can put it back in the oven to reheat it. And the cool thing is, once you put it back in the oven to reheat it, the whole kitchen will get that hickory smoke smell. It smells really good. So anyway, that's how I do my pulled pork, and hope you enjoy.
And raise what's left of the flag from me.